Imagine learning about a hidden gem in history, a tale so mind-boggling that it leaves you both astonished and enlightened. This is the story of Sarah Rector, a name that might not ring any bells for most people. I, too, was unaware of her incredible journey until my husband shared a premier daily article about her with me. In 1914, Sarah Rector was just 12 years old when she became a millionaire, a fact that sent shockwaves through society. It was as if a fragile flower had suddenly burst into full bloom, attracting attention and disbelief. The authorities, so deeply rooted in their racial prejudices, couldn't fathom a young black girl holding such wealth and power. In a twisted attempt to maintain the status quo and a narrative that makes no good sense, they legally designated her as white. Who else in history have they done this to? It was like artificially changing the color of a rose just to make it fit into a monochrome garden. Sarah Rector was the wealthiest little girl in America in 1914. But this extraordinary story was never part of my education growing up. Why was that? Sarah's journey began with her ancestors, who were free from slavery. However, the societal landscape remained treacherous, like an ocean filled with dangerous waves of racism and discrimination. The idea of black people wielding power was a frightening storm that many sought to suppress then and even now. Sarah's grandparents gained tribal rights after being liberated from enslavement by an Oklahoman Native American tribe. As part of a treaty signed in 1866 between the United States and 5 Native American tribes, freedmen were allotted 160 acres of land each. Sarah, too, received her own piece of land, like a tiny sapling in a vast forest. Her plot of land cost $556.50, but former slaves were rarely given prime locations. Sarah's land was 60 miles away from her home and considered unsuitable for farming. It was like receiving a parched, barren land while others enjoyed fertile fields. However, fortune struck when oil was discovered on her property, transforming her life overnight. Sarah's sudden wealth was like a blazing comet streaking across the sky, attracting marriage proposals and media attention. The idea of a black girl owning so much wealth alarmed and concerned Oklahoma, prompting them to legally declare her white. This was done to grant her access to first-class travel and other amenities reserved only for those of European descent. Sarah Rector's daily wage was $300, equivalent to earning $7,500 per day today. Tragically, due to rampant racism, white people were assigned to oversee the assets of wealthy black people. These guardians often stole money and property from those they were supposed to protect, like wolves in sheep's clothing. But people stood up for Sarah. The black community united to support her, knowing white people could easily exploit the young girl. The Chicago Defender, a prominent black newspaper, exposed how her white guardian mismanaged her estate. Despite her wealth, Sarah still dressed in rags, as if she were a neglected, wilting flower. Prominent black figures like Booker T. Washington and Du Bois reached out to Sarah's family after reading the article, and the NAACP intervened to defend her rights. They questioned why she couldn't be cared for by someone from her own race who would treat her well instead of someone seeking financial gain. Booker T. Washington also offered to help with her education. As a well-established millionaire, she eventually settled in Kansas City with her family. By the age of 18, Sarah owned a bakery, boarding house, cafe, stocks, bonds, and even the Rector Mansion on 12th Street.